Hey guys, it's Frozen Joe again, and today I'm going to be doing a review of a tree that I've just been calling Joe's Jersey. It's an unknown tree, and this is it here. It's very similar to Hardy Chicago, and the story behind this tree is when I was a kid, my family lived in Clifton, New Jersey, and this was back in the 1980s, and this tree was already there, established at that house. It was growing really well, and it was just a fig tree there when I was a kid. We ate the fruit when I lived there, and it was good, but it's the only fig I really knew about back then. Anyway, back when I got into growing figs again, my mom went over there, and the tree was still there. It wasn't in the best shape. It had been cut down a few times, but kept just growing up from the roots. It's still there to this day, to my knowledge. And, my mom took some cuttings and rooted them, and this is one of those cuttings she gave me a few years back. And I planted this tree. It's here. It's in its third year, like most of my trees here on this property. So here it is. It's a Hardy Chicago type. It's very similar. You can see the leaf well. You can see these leaves. It looks very similar to Hardy Chicago. The fruit is similar. But the main difference that I've been observing is this tree is just super duper prolific. You can see the white baggies. All those white baggies are figs. There's just all over this tree. There's just figs in various process of ripening. And the fruit is really nice on this one. I would consider this tree to be ever-bearing because, it's like once it starts, here in Arizona we have a long season. This tree, middle of June, started producing fruit, and since it started producing every single day, we're here now, we're at the end of September, every day since the middle of June there have literally been multiple fruit ripe on this tree every day. And yesterday evening, me and my family, we just ate a bunch of figs off of this one, and I was just looking over it now. There's like 3 or 4 of them that are ripe right now after all those figs we just ate yesterday afternoon, evening. So it's super productive. This is a larger one. The fruit size is pretty similar to Hardy Chicago, though a lot of these tend to be on the smaller side on this tree, although this is a decent sized one here. Let me break it open. The fruit is just so good on this tree. It's really delicious. Can you guys get a good view of that? This fruit is just so tasty. Very similar to Hardy Chicago, same flavor and everything. This may even just be a cultivar or a strain of Hardy Chicago. It's just real productive. I'm not sure, but it's an awesome tree. It's probably my best all-around tree in my opinion. It's very nice, very sweet. Not quite as sweet as some of the Hardy Chicago get, but in general it's pretty sweet. The flavor is nice and rich. It's just a delicious fig, and it's so healthy and productive. I think there was a smaller one over here. Let's see. Yeah, this one here is ripe. This is probably more indicative in general of the size that these get. Let me show you. Yeah, this one here is probably a little bit, more typical size-wise. They're really not that big, but when there's so many of them and they taste so good, doesn't really bother me too much. This one, if you miss a fig, you don't see it. Here, figs dry on the tree really well. The dried figs off of this variety are just outstanding in quality, and the fresh fruit is very good. Now, I like this tree so much that last year, I actually went ahead and I planted 6 baby ones. I started cuttings last year in the fall. In the spring, I planted 6 baby trees from those cuttings that were started. I just want to show you guys. This tree does so well in this climate, better than any of the other ones I have. Here's one of the baby ones, and I don't know if you can see just how much fruit is on here. This is just a little baby tree. It was started from a cutting about a year ago and put in the ground this spring, and it is just loaded with figs. Just super duper productive. Super productive. And are any of these ripe right now? Some of them might be. And the fruit is the same, as on the bigger tree. It's just because it's a baby, the quality is not quite as good just yet. Boy, all these are still a little bit hard. but they're good off. They even taste good off of the baby tree too. I say overall, Joe's Jersey tree, which is just what I've been calling it, is probably my favorite all-around tree. I mean, I have a sentimental connection to it, but just in terms of a variety, it just performs super well for me here in Arizona. So there you go, Joe's Jersey.